Hello there, this is Big Benedict. We're playing Resident Evil 4 on professional difficulty, and this is my no damage guide for the aforementioned title. We are on chapter 2-2, and for this first part here with Ashley, it isn't necessary to have her stand back. The mechanics of Ashley are basically press the right bumper to have her stand back. You can't leave a zone though without her, and you can't have her standing atop of where a ladder is without moving forward. And anytime you aim your gun and she's in front of you, she'll duck down. But she can be killed, but it's made in such a remarkable way that you can only kill her if you're trying to. That's what I've found. So we're making our way back now. There aren't too many enemies in this area. And at the end of the video, that's where the hard part is. Although it's not excruciating. I mean, I did it twice. Now, what I have on footage is a little bit better. Although I did go pretty hog wild with the grenades, just because I knew that it's not a timed sequence. It's kill X number of enemies, and the scripting will trigger the cutscene and the end of the chapter, and you'll go forward on to the campaign. But if you do want to go forward, you have to realize, just like I said in the previous video, the fight in the house is a war. It's a fucking war, and do you want to win or do you want to lose? Just do what you have to. Shoot like there's no tomorrow. Throw grenades and upgrade your weapons. Go in there with the most advantages you possibly can, and I'll show you the basic layout of the house and what you should do when we get there. But you may I actually got lost when I first played this game, and I came full circle and I finally found my way. But I should talk about this part because it's rather difficult. See how she ducks down. So we're going to go back into our favorite house over here. But the enemies get on you pretty quickly. And if ever Ashley is grabbed, it doesn't take damage from her health gauge. But if you allow the enemy to drag her out of a zone, it ends in a fail state and you die. So how do you prevent that? You simply try to shoot the enemy. Try not to shoot Ashley though, but usually she's getting dragged away, and you just want to shoot the enemy in the back. What was I experiencing? Oh, the problem I was experiencing over here was the flailing tentacles from the heads. So if that happens, just stop knifing enemies through the door. Go all the way back. Leave Ashley against the wall and use the scope and just take them out with the rifle. So let's see, that we have a couple of enemies directly in the path where we're going, and then I think there's also one guy right in front of the gate. Make sure that you go to the typewriter, save your progress. I would say do that before you start smashing all the boxes. Sometimes, like when I do the smashing of the barrels, I don't care too much, but I also realize that if you want to, you can ensure that you're getting what you want from those barrels before you actually save your progress. But I think as far as time is concerned, the section before the house, it took me a little bit longer. I'm not sure why. I think it took me about an hour, whereas the house section took 35 minutes. And I think it was just because I was trying to get these enemies killed with the context actions, and it just wasn't working. I was getting grabbed a lot. So the area that we're going to now, or next I should say, is the farm area before where in chapter 1-1 we were shooting the blue medallions, 7 in number. Okay, so one more guy and I'm going to shoot him right to the geometry. There you go, right? And down he goes. Oh no, I may have missed him. Or that's a new guy. You see, they'd love to just point at you and waste time. That's a great opportunity to go up them and try to slash them in the face. But if you miss, you're going to have to do a lot of backstepping. So at this point, you can only have the medium attaché case. And we will be getting the large and extra large one coming up. Just watch out for these bear traps. I would say the nearby barrels, just don't smash them yet. And also just clear all the enemies before you smash the barrels. It's just a matter of, you can smash, say for instance there's 2 barrels in an area nearby where the save point is. You smash both barrels one time, both give you nothing. And the next time you smash the barrels, both give you cash. One drop gives you like 1100, the other drop gives you 900. Like, what's the obvious thing you would desire? Obviously you want more money. So that's how you manipulate the barrels and any other thing you smash. So direct Ashley to go into that trash receptacle. And what we're going to do here is just kill enemy in the different areas where they're located. So the first guy to take out is this old man in the hay barn. See that barrel right there? I will do that after I'm done. And I don't mean to obsess over the barrels. I'm just telling you, you know, you have to, like, if you really want to win, those are the little things you have to look for. I mean, obviously you have to have skill, but the next enemy we're going to aggro is this guy in here. I think this guy grabbed me the most because sometimes he has a briefer grab than normal, and it's hard to judge what he's going to do. You know, you're oftentimes tempted to not backtrack as much. But once you get into this location where he was standing, it's not necessary to hit those, but you have to hit them fast if you do want to hit them. And I will be speeding this up here, but my rational mind and my intellect knew that I never had to keep turning. See, I know this is going pretty fast, but what I'm doing here is I'm knifing a couple of enemies, and then when they're all on the ground, I'm doing the 180 turn to make sure that no enemies are coming in the window behind me. And they do if you deviate from what I'm doing here, but if you don't, they will stay here every time and you can get a double headshot. But it's kind of funny how you're always invested with such paranoia when you play a game like this, because especially when you're doing well, you just don't want to die. And watch out for these bear traps. There's about 5 of them by the door. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that I didn't fall in them one time. There was one time when I thought I was doing very well, only to step in a bear trap once everybody was cleared, and I couldn't keep that in for obvious purposes. And I don't think it's fair that the enemies aren't affected by the bear traps. In the Evil Within, they are. But I know quite a few people who were disappointed by the Evil Within and who like this game a lot better. I don't. I like this game better. Okay, so once everybody's cleared, you can call back Ashley. You're not going to see me run back to the save point, but I'm going to, off camera. And I guess this is the point where I'm just sick of knifing these. If he went down faster to knife them, I would always knife them. So there's Ashley coming back to us now, and she took a few moments to come back, so I had to speed this up a little bit. So just make sure all of your guns are reloaded. Make sure they're in a familiar place in your attaché case so you can get them every time quickly. And, you know, just prepare for a war, because that's what's coming up. And it's not that bad of a checkpoint. I've seen a lot worse. I mean, I wish they would just start you in the house once you reloaded. But what's going to happen is Ashley's going to be upstairs protected. So Lewis can be killed, but he takes quite a lot of hits. Like, I've never accidentally killed him. I mean, I've hit him a couple times. But what we're going to do here is we're going to open the boards because we don't want to protect ourselves. We just need to kill mass quantities of these fuckers here. So what you're gonna do is shoot these windows out and just throw the grenades, because that's the fastest way to kill them, in my opinion. And we're just looking to do widespread damage in large quantities. So the next thing to do is to come up here, and you don't want to move from here until Lewis runs up the stairs, and at that point we'll just be throwing the ladders back to the ground. But it's just a full-on war here. Don't stop shooting. The guys that are flailing with the parasites where their heads used to be, just make sure you kneecap those guys so that they're indisposed and you can shoot them on the ground. And it's not as though there's any way to stop these enemies unless you make them flinch and make them drop. So I just kind of went hog wild with the grenades. If you don't have the grenades, what can I say? You might have to revert back to a previous save. You don't have to. I mean, you could even bring a rocket launcher in here if you want to. They're 30,000. But it's the more enemies you kill, the faster you do it, the faster this is going to be over. It does feel like hell, but at least it's exhilarating, man. I loved this fight. Okay, so just stay down here as long as possible. Like, stay right here, just keep shooting everybody, and this doesn't have to drag on very long. I mean, it was over well before I expected it to be over, and I will be leaving in the cutscenes just so that there's confirmation that that actually this is all transpiring and I'm doing this legitimately. But like, the best weapons to use, I would say, are the TMP. There we go, with a nice flash grenade. And we're just gonna, what I'm doing is, okay, so I did shoot Lewis right there. He doesn't have any health integrity, so it doesn't matter. But what we're gonna do now, what you want to do is listen for the smashing of the windows outside by the enemies. And when that happens, you still need to throw the ladders out, but you need to make sure that you prioritize killing the enemies that are coming up the stairs. Now, I've got hit a number of times, like when I do the 180 turn. There's really no greater horror in this whole sequence than doing that 180 turn after you've thrown the ladder to the ground, in my opinion, because you just never know what the fuck is going to be behind you when you wheel around, man. But I mean, look how fast this is over. It's over. Take care.